Hey everyone, so today I want to talk about some video settings in the Canon R6. And so I wanted to do a test to kind of show off what the different video settings could do. And when I mean video settings, I'm meaning like frames per second in video. And today we're looking at 1080 video. And on the Canon R6, you can do 120 frames per second, 60 frames per second, and then 23.98 frames per second. And so I'm going to show what the footage will look like in those three settings. So today I brewed some coffee and I'm just going to pour the coffee into a mug so you can see the difference between the different video settings in the Canon R6. So here we go. So as you can see, the Canon R6 in 120 frames per second is super slow motion, and you can also speed it up. And with it being 120 frames per second, you can really slow down this footage to really see everything that's happening in slow motion. And I think that it could be overused, but there are some instances that it's going to be really fun to use. I'm going to try it in sports in the coming weeks, hopefully, with some basketball. And then with 60 frames per second, which is what I shoot some of my wedding videos in, it gives me the option to slow down the footage and also have audio, because in 120 frames per second you don't get audio, but you do get autofocus in 120, which was not possible in the 5D Mark IV. And on the 5D Mark IV, which is my other camera that I used to use a lot, the 120 frames was not in 1080. So the upgrade to have 120 frames per second and 1080 on this camera is awesome. So back to the 60 frames per second. I think it's a great option that if you are shooting something and you're not sure if you're going to need it in slow motion or not, 60 frames per second, I feel like you can get away with shooting almost anything in 60 frames per second when it comes to maybe like documenting just an event or something. Now, if you're shooting like an interview and people are talking on camera, you're going to probably want to shoot that in 24 or 23.98 frames per second, whatever it may be. And so then I also shot it in 23.98 or 24 frames per second. They're both going to kind of come out to the same. And that will give you the most natural cinematic look of how you would naturally see something. So I hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the description. I will be going into the video settings on kind of an example video, kind of like this one, on the 4K settings in this camera. So if you guys would like to see that, let me know in the comments. And I appreciate if you subscribe. So I'll see you guys next time.